Welcome to Module 4 of the Meli Unit's Data Collection Methods course. In this module, we will introduce you to basic concepts of qualitative data collection, including when we use qualitative methods and techniques for a variety of qualitative methods. Let's get started. Now, what do we mean by qualitative data collection? Qualitative data collection is the gathering of non-numerical information, such as words, images, and observations to understand individuals' attitudes, behaviors, beliefs, and motivations in a specific context. With qualitative methods, we are generally looking at what happened, how did it happen, and importantly, why did it happen? If you remember our different data collection methods, the four qualitative methods we're going to look at in this module are surveys, specifically open-ended questions, interviews, focus groups, and direct observation. Let's start with open-ended survey questions. These are well suited to questions where likely responses are not known, meaning you would not be able to easily create a multiple choice question, for instance, where individual detail is wanted, and where stories or examples are wanted or needed. Here's an example of an open-ended survey question. Also, when you provide an other option for a survey question and allow your respondent to provide free text, this response would also be considered open-ended. The positive aspect of open-ended questions is that they are easily added to any survey inquiry. Their collection can be automated using a survey platform, and are great for generating stories, anecdotes, and quotes. However, the downside is that they are labor-intensive to analyze, their open-ended nature can bring noise, and some respondents do not want to enter text in the survey, which can impact your response rates. Let's move on to interviews and focus groups. As a reminder, an interview is a structured conversation usually conducted one-on-one by an interviewer who asks an interviewee about their knowledge, experiences, feelings, perceptions, and preferences on a certain topic. In addition to what is said, data may include information about body language, group dynamics, and tone. A focus group discussion, or FGD, involves a skilled moderator who stimulates discussion among a group of individuals to elicit experiences, feelings, perceptions, and preferences about a topic. The moderator uses a list of topics to be discussed, ensures all voices are represented, and keeps the discussion on track. Just like interviews, in addition to what is said, focus group data may include information about body language, group dynamics, and tone. Both interviews and focus groups utilize similar questioning techniques, which include probing, asking follow-up questions when we do not fully understand a response, or when answers are vague or ambiguous, or when we want to obtain more specific or in-depth information. Redirecting, directing the conversation to a new or different topic. This is used when you want to get back on topic or back to your questions, perhaps if a respondent has veered too far from what is important for you to know. And paraphrasing, which is when the interviewer chooses the most important details of what the respondent has just said and repeats them back in the interviewer's own words in order to ensure the interviewer understood what the respondent said. Paraphrases can be just a few words or one or two brief sentences. In thinking about question order, we have similar considerations to when we think about how to order survey questions. We want our questions to go from general to specific, positive to negative, and again ask yourself, which questions address potentially negative or sensitive issues? Just like surveys, we never want to open an interview or focus group by asking more negatively oriented questions. And easy to hard, which questions are quick to answer and which take more time. Also remember to avoid biased questions, as some descriptive words and phrases may interject bias into your questions or influence the respondent in answering in a certain way. Leading questions lead the respondents to answer a certain way, and loaded questions contain assumptions about someone's behavior and perceptions. Also be sure to ask clear questions. Strive for clear and precise language. Avoid ambiguity when phrasing your question. Watch out for double negatives, and avoid acronyms and technical jargon. Also, ask one question at a time by avoiding double-barrel questions. A quick reminder that double-barrel questions are questions that touch upon two different issues, but only allow for a single answer. Including grammatical conjugations like and or in a question typically means that it's double-barreled. Remember that as an interviewer or moderator, you have an obligation to actively observe, listen, and respond. Pay close attention to everything respondents say. Introduce new probes based on what you hear. Introduce entirely new questions based on what you hear. Some common challenges you may run into when conducting an interview or focus group include that respondents may be unclear in their responses. They may be emotional. They may be reluctant to answer fully. They may try to take control of the interview or focus group. They may bring family members or coworkers. Or there may be bias introduced via power differential, such as if you have a manager in a room of colleagues. And here are some final tips for you. Be interested in what the respondents have to say. Show respect. Be the interviewer or moderator, not the respondent. Watch how often you paraphrase, and don't try to interrupt to help respondents find the right words. Be patient. Be ready to hear unpleasant views, and come prepared. And we come to our last qualitative method, direct observation. This entails an observer who records data based on what they see, hear, or touch, and is often based on a guided protocol and usually conducted during a site visit. It is an activity where you are studying events, situations, settings, and practices as they occur, and you understand social interactions better than when stakeholders are just reporting to you. In direct observation, you want to look out for program setting, human social environment, program implementation activities, formal interactions, participants' language, nonverbal communication, and what doesn't happen. For instance, if you expect collaboration or networking to happen at an event and it doesn't, this is something you want to make note of. And that's it for our module on qualitative data collection. And that's it for our course on data collection. We really appreciate you taking the time to learn with us. When you're ready, you can head back to the training overview and take the course assessment. Thanks again.